Hey everyone, welcome back. I hope you guys had a great holiday, great Thanksgiving holiday, and had the opportunity to spend some time with your loved ones. In my previous video, I stated that I wanted to answer some questions that you guys may have had regarding my experience, the dialysis experience, the kidney experience. I went through my comments and picked out some questions that I felt was needed, that people may need some clarification on. So I'm going to go ahead and dive right on in. So the first question here is from Jane Bond 007. Can you explain the process to determine an organ donor match and the process of kidney donation? Thank you, Jane. This is a really, really good question. So one of the first things is blood type. They look to see if the donor's blood type is compatible with the recipient's blood type. So for example, blood type O can donate to anyone, but A and B can only donate to A and B. Number 2 is tissue matching, or HLA testing. They compare genetic markers called human leukocyte antigens, HLA for short. More matching markers equals lower chance of rejection. Number 3, cross-match testing. This is one of the most important steps. The doctor mixes the donor's cells with the recipient's blood. A negative cross-match means good. That means that the recipient will not attack the donor's organ. However, a positive cross-match is bad. That means that the recipient's immune system will automatically attack that donor's organ. Number 4, antibody screening. Some people actually have high antibodies. It can be from previous surgeries. And really what antibodies are is your body building a defense to remember. For instance, if you had a transplant in the past, your body builds up a defense to remember how to fight. So the higher your antigens are, the lower chance of you finding a kidney. And last but not least, overall health. The doctors check your kidney, your blood pressure, your overall health, your mental health, your pretty much everything about you to make sure that you are ready and capable of receiving a kidney and being compliant, because you need to be compliant when it comes down to receiving any type of organ, to make sure that you are taking the medications on time, doing everything that the doctor says to do, because if not, they could give it to someone else who will be compliant, and that organ can actually last longer. Now, to answer the second part of your question, kidney donation process. So for a living kidney donation process, the first being an evaluation from the donor. This could include CT scans, urine tests, blood pressure, psychological tests, physical tests. These tests are done to make sure that you are suitable in order to provide an organ to a recipient. Number 2, approval. If everything comes back clean bill of health, then you're approved to provide your organ to the recipient. Number 3, the surgery. So there will be a surgery where you will go into surgery. The doctor will take your organ, in this case for me, your kidney out. Remember, you have 2 kidneys. They're located in your back area towards the lower part of your back. But you can actually live with 1 kidney. You don't have to have 2 kidneys. You can live with 1. Some people are actually born with 1 kidney. So that is the reason why people can actually provide a kidney to someone else. So they'll take that 1 kidney out during this surgery. Then number 4, it will be another surgery for the recipient. They will undergo surgery. The transplant will be inserted into that recipient. Number 5, recovery. The donor typically takes 1 to 3 days in the hospital. Full recovery typically is between 4 to 6 weeks. Now there's a second option, which is a deceased kidney from someone who has passed on. A donor passes away, their family allows the donation, or the the donor registry allow for that organ to be given. The doctors then determine which organs are healthy enough to donate. A matching recipient is found through a donation registry, which is called UNOS, UNOS. The kidney is removed and transported quickly to the recipient's transplant center. Then the recipient is called to immediately report to that center for transplant, which I went through about a month ago. I hope that answers your question, Jane. All right, second question. This is from BZ Jazzy. Glad you have educated yourself so you can better advocate for yourself. So this isn't a question, but I definitely felt like this is very important to address. And not only when it comes down to transplant, but when it comes down to medical, period. It is important to advocate for yourself. It's very important to advocate for yourself. Now, of course, we have doctors there to direct us into the right direction, but always do your own research. There are times where you might get some news and you feel like, no, this don't sound right. This does not, I don't believe this. You can always get a second opinion. Don't always only go off what your first specialist let you know. Definitely get a second opinion from another specialist. There are multiple instances where a family went to got a second opinion, and it was a better outcome versus from the first opinion. So definitely advocate for yourself. Of course, your health team is there to assist you, but you have to put in the work as well. All right, next question is from Hope First. How are you doing? I've been praying for you to receive a kidney from a living donor. I hope you're recovering. Remember to take deep breaths. Splint your surgical site with a pillow if you need to cough. God bless you. Thank you so much, Hope. I think this is really important for those who are about to go through the process of receiving a kidney. So after you have the surgery, of course you have an incision. The incision is located up below your belly button. Right below your belly button. So when they take out, this is just a fun fact. When you get a kidney transplant, they do not take out your original kidneys. They keep those back there. So the new location for your kidneys is in your pelvis area. So they put one, if you get, your first kidney transplant, it's in one part of your pelvis on the right-hand side, typically. And then you get a second one that's on your left-hand side of your pelvis in that V-shaped area. So it's, here and it's here. And if you get a third kidney, it would be right in the middle. So after transplant, the surgical site is maybe about, I would say 7 inches, something like that. And it's really not a bad scar. Actually, it's really not. But anyways, once you get out of the surgery, you have that scar there, and it's like an open incision. Typically, you don't get staples or sewed like they did back in the day. They usually have a surgical glue that holds you, close you up and keep the incision closed. Now, as you know, or as some of you may not know, literally almost everything that we do involves our stomach to contract. So if we're talking, if we're breathing, breathing hard, or breathing, period, coughing, sneezing, your stomach contracts. And that, when those muscles contract like that, the surgical site is also contracting, which can cause a lot of pain and discomfort. So what they typically do, and what Emory did for me, is they gave me, in my other video, I actually showed you it. It's a little pillow. I wish I had it right now so I can show you. But it's a pillow, a little small pillow. Mine is a little small kidney pillow, but they give you a pillow. And what you do is, when you feel like you're about to cough, or you're maybe choking, choking or whatever, where you feel like you're about to put a lot of pressure on your stomach because your stomach's about to contract, what you're asked to do is place that pillow in that surgical area and press down. So press, let me stand up so you can kind of see what well, you can't. So imagine this is my surgical site here. You press down and then you cough. That prevents the surgical site from opening, because when you cough, that surgical site can, it moves a little. So if you press down, it prevents it from moving and it lessens the pain. So that is what Hope First is referring to when she says to make sure you use the surgical site for any, discomfort. So I have another question, and yeah, this is another question here from God's chosen one. You look great. Are you feeling like you owe the person something? Great question. Absolutely. I definitely feel like I owe them something. Specifically for Emory, the hospital that I went through to do my transplant, I could reach out to the family and thank them for the kidney that I received. Now, Emory asked to give the family some time to grieve, about two months or so to grieve, and then reach out to the family. So for me, it's been a month since I've had the kidney. So I actually plan on reaching out to the family to let them know that I'm thankful for the kidney, and just let them know what I plan on doing in my life, so that they feel like it's not in vain. Giving out the kidney is not in vain. I'm actually going to live out my life and do some great things so that, to make them feel better about the decision that they made. So absolutely, I definitely feel indebted to the family, and I thank them, even though I don't know who it is, but I really truly thank them for the gift that they provided to me. All right, this next statement is not a question. It's actually from Siobhan, and I wanted to bring this out, talk about this because, first let me say what it is. Great information, and I'm glad to have learned about your condition. May God bless you throughout your journey. Thank you so much, Siobhan. So the reason I brought this up is because I just wanted to remind everybody the reason for me even coming online on social media to talk about this. Just so everybody know, I'm really a private person. So for me to even be doing something like this was very, very out of the ordinary. So initially, me doing my first video was solely to get a transplant, to let everybody know that I'm in need for a transplant, and that, if you can provide one. But after I posted that video and I saw questions coming in about the process, I just felt the need to be able to educate people and kind of educate people, provide people with information about dialysis, about kidney, about transplant, but also those individuals out there who are on dialysis or who have a transplant and, just need some representation online, or, want to be able to identify with somebody who's going through the same thing that they're going through or went through. I just want to be a sounding voice for those people. So I just wanted to talk about bring this statement up because just to remind people why I'm here. I want to be able to educate and provide resources for those people out there who need it. So, yeah. All right, my next question is from Cheryl LLGS. Please take COVID-19 precautions. This virus is still very much out there, and of course, you're immune compromised. So thank you so much, Cheryl, for that reminder. I'm definitely cautious of not only COVID-19, but everything. So one of the things that you may not know is after transplant, and this is after any transplant, any organ transplant, you take medication that that makes your immune system not as strong as the typical person. So it's very weak. And the reason for that is so that your immune system doesn't automatically attack that new kidney that's inside your body. So You have to be very, very careful about who you're around, people who are sick, people who have, people who are sick of viruses, diseases, anything like that. You have to be very careful because your body will not respond like a healthy person. For instance, if you get a cold, and I think I talked about this on one of my other videos, you get a cold, a regular person can get rid of a cold with great medication within a week's time. Someone who is taking medication to weaken their immune system, it takes much longer. It can take up to 2 weeks and sometimes longer than that. So you just have to be very, very careful when it comes down to protecting your health after transplant, because your immune system is not as strong as others. So keep that in mind. All right. So those are the questions that I felt that was very important to address so that people can get more understanding of the answers. I really appreciate you for joining me, listening to the questions and the answers that I dived into. If you have any other questions or concerns, please reach out to me. Feel free to reach out to me. Again, I appreciate you being here and on this journey with me, and I hope to see you soon. Thanks. Love you. Peace.